Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Taste of the Week with me, Rufus J.Stone. And today I would like to welcome you to my abode, in which I am going to be introducing to you several delicious flavours of beverage or food that I will be trying for your viewing pleasure. Now, the general method of which I will go about these videos is that I will try a small selection of modern or unfamiliar foods or beverages throughout my experiences and travels every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the practicalities of my work. And by doing this, I will then try these beverages and foods on camera for your viewing pleasure. So I do hope you enjoy this video, and do stay tuned for future installments of Taste of the Week with me, Rufus J.Stone. Now, for our inaugural episode of this show, I will be trying out a trio of selections of flavours from the Barr's soda range. Now, what I find quite interesting about this range of sodas is that they do not just go for the predictable range of apple or pineapple sodas that you will find in your usual off-license shops, but they also go for rather explorative flavours such as bubblegum and candy floss, although I'm not entirely sure as to what the nature of that latter flavour might be. Now, today, the three flavours I have got here with me to try for your viewing pleasure are pineapple Barr's lemonade. Then the next lemonade flavour we have got is bubblegum. And then finally, a personal favourite of mine, something that my grandchildren tell me that they quite enjoy, is iced cream flavour. Now, I will be going for perhaps the most familiar flavour to me, which is pineapple. I do remember as a young lad during my explorative days when I would be travelling down to Burundi and some place, I couldn't quite remember it, in the Amazon. Pineapples were in quite good abundance, and I did rather enjoying their sweet, natural, exotic taste. You really don't get pineapples naturally in the UK. You see, it's quite unfortunate that we do have to export them so much to this country. So, let us have a small sample of this pineapple lemonade and see where it takes us in terms of our personal experience and taste buds. I taste a slight scent of Love Hearts candy, which of course I absolutely despise, so there's already a couple of points down on it for that. And I also taste a distinct hint of fake sugar and additives, such as the ever-present flavour of sugar citric acid and colour carbonates. So I can already tell that bars are putting out all the stops for their first of these samples, but I must say that the taste of pineapple is most certainly there. So if you are looking for a premium pineapple beverage, this would probably not be the stuff for you. However, if you would like the taste of pineapple regardless, it's not too bad. Oh yes, as the younger members of our audience would say, that tastes like piss. Now, on to our next flavour, one that I am not so familiar with, but that my nieces and nephews and grandchildren are quite familiar with, which is bubble gum. Now, you see, when I was a young lad back in the 20s and 30s, I did not have the luxury of this bubble gum, as you so see. See, in my days, the usual kind of sweets were things like boiled sweets and chocolate. But, of course, considering rationing at the time, it really was quite a rarity, as times got tougher further on into the late 30s and early 40s. You just have to look up the history books to find out why that was. Yes, quite a dastardly period of history. Now, what I am quite intrigued by is that I have never tried bubblegum before in my life, so this bubblegum flavour of soda will be most interesting. Now, I would be reticent to also mention that I grew up with sweets that were made out of primarily natural sugar, and not this, as the kids would again say, fake shit. So, oh yes, that is quite possibly the worst thing I've ever drunk. I would not recommend that under any circumstances. That was absolutely vile. Terrible experience, so I would definitely not recommend that. Now, on to the last flavour of the day, and one that I think most members of the audience would enjoy. After all, ice cream is a flavour, or at least a treat, that we could all appreciate, whether you are members of my generation or the younger generations, or anywhere in between out there in the viewing audience today, viewing this video on your personal computers. I am of course talking about the iced cream flavour of soda. Now, the reason why I think that this will be a much more pleasurable experience than the pineapple or the dastardly bubble gum flavours is quite simple. It's a very universal treat, you see. One that unifies us on the basis of all personal and basic moral learnings, that ice cream is a treat and a luxury. So, with all regality and all niceties out of the way and done with, let us try this most assumed and prestigious treat of beverage glory. I must always recommend getting a can with a old-fashioned wrinkle, much more classic and righteous. Oh yes, that is indeed the best flavour. I must say, I do taste the distinct taste of cream soda, which this is actually very similar to in a number of ways. It has the scent of vanilla in its base flavour that continues on into the subsectors of the flavour that flow through your mouth after you've swallowed the beverage. A very pleasant experience indeed, and while there are of course a number of fake E numbers and the such that are present in this beverage, they aren't as prevalent as the other two beverages we have had today, the pineapple and bubble gum sodas, so I would definitely give this a recommendation. Overall, in terms of general ratings, which I don't like to adhere to that often, I would probably have to say the pineapple comes in second. It would probably receive a 6.5 out of 10 for me. The bubblegum is by far the worst. It absolutely tastes like piss, and I would probably say it has to have a 3 or 2.5 out of 10. It is quite bad. But the ice cream soda, while not perfect, and certainly reticent of some many E numbers that are prevalent in the other two beverages, is still a treat to behold, and I would give it a very respectable 8.72 out of 10. It is a very fine beverage, and while not perfect, it is more than appropriate for the birthday parties of our younger viewers out there today. So, I hope you have enjoyed this first edition of Taste of the Week with me, Rufus J.Stone. And until next time, I hope you will stay tuned for any further updates and intriguing videos on this fine channel. As always, I wish you bid adieu, and please do check out my social media platforms and 2 other YouTube channels in the video description below this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.